Architectural Builder's Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
And Illinois, and I have the Waverly E series Schlage lock on the front door, and I had a question. I want to get a deadbolt put on the front door, and obviously that lock doesn't come with one. I'm kind of just wanted to pick your brain and see what type of newer lock I could put on there in place of it.
Well, the E-Series could have included a deadbolt. That would have been an EB series at that point. But when you say E-Series, it doesn't necessarily mean that a deadbolt was excluded. It's just, what was the part number? Was it an E51 or an EB51? So
it's an E51 PD or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and it comes with that weird hole. I actually bought a lock, like a quick set lock, which I've come to find might not be the best, to have it put on. And the locksmith that came out here, he took the Schlage off, and then he noticed that the hole was that weird, the weird kind of, shape. He's like, I don't really know what to do with it, so we just put it back on, and it works fine. But I kind of, wanted a newer lock. Or am I crazy?
Back in 2008, before then, I got a nail in a tire, and I said, give me 4 new tires. Well, 2008 hit, and I said, enough of that baloney. Why would you replace a perfectly good lock?
It's kind of scratched and stuff. It's just kind of like redoing the whole house. I don't know.
Yeah. So why?
And you're right. It's not a beautiful door.
Well, that whole part of the northern suburbs of Chicago is full. Winnetka is full of E-Series, full of it. You walk
Really?
down the street there, and every house has them on there.
Really?
And oh yeah, they're everywhere. So
okay.
Cosmetically, sure, I get that. There's not a lot you can really do about that. Replacing it is going to be a major problem, as you have kind of already touched on, because it's a series of 3, I don't recall, 1 3/8 holes, 1 5/8 holes that are vertically stacked. And now you can add a deadbolt, because the E series, when it became an EB series, it was just a B400 series deadbolt that was on there. And the problem is you won't have the EB series escutcheons. So if you have, whatever the Waverly would have looked like for the EB WAV, I don't recall. I'd have to look at an old catalog. So a deadbolt you put up there, I would suggest that you get a deadbolt that would go into the smallest diameter hole possible, so that it looked like it kind of belonged. All the Schlages will go, their residential stuff will go into 2 1/8, and some of them, the B60 will go into 1 1/2 inches, but it's really big. The Caba Ilko material, the Caba Ilko 4500 series deadbolts, they're nice because their projection is really low off the face of the door. And Baldwin is nice too, because those will go into 1 5/8 hole.
Yeah.
So if
I
you
was looking at
Baldwin,
the Baldwin Soho, the 2-point Baldwin Soho lock.
Why would you want
it would
that?
cover up that. Well, I was just looking if I replaced the Waverly, the E series at the time, I would need something that covers that hole up, right? Though I'm not sure that the holes would even work on the side of the door.
Do you know what a 2-point lock is? You wouldn't. If that locksmith didn't know that the Kwikset wouldn't fit when he saw the Waverly on there, he ain't going to figure out how a 2-point lock works. A 2-point lock is not going to work on your door. That's a non-starter. If you're gonna go to that extent, you have to replace the door. Is the bottom line.
Okay.
So
and is the E series okay? The locksmith that was here yesterday, on the inside of the door, that you pull to open the door from the inside, one of the screws was like that holds that piece on the inside of the door on. It actually kind of broke off because it was just on there for so tight. But there's another screw. Is that okay, or can I get that replaced?
Not really. I mean, you're talking about when you remove the knob or lever, whatever is there. I don't know what would have been on the inside of a standard Waverly.
You'll have with the button you can push in.
Yeah, push turn button. So you pull that knob off, you should be able to pull the scalp plate off, and then underneath there is a mounting plate, and that would have 2 machine screws, like 1032 machine screws. If you've only got one of those, it would not be ideal. It would definitely not be ideal.
No, you see the screws from the outside of the knob. Like you see them on the outside screws.
I don't know about that. Are you sure you have an E-Series Waverly? How old is this lock?
Well, the house was built in 51, and the same people were living it since 1961. I bought it from the estate. I have pictures that I could send you, actually.
Oh, I'd love to see them. But on an E-Series grip, I think those screws are concealed on the inside. Because that's an A-line.
A couple pictures to check out?
Oh, I'd be happy to see them. Love to see old
stuff.
Yeah,
I watched your video. I could tell. By the way, I watched your video. I could tell like your passion for this stuff is like awesome. So I'm like, I gotta talk to this guy, even though I'm calling him completely blindly. And I saw the Chicago number, and I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, I grew up in Addison and Narragansett. So yeah. You know.
What's the best place to like email this or text it to you or something?
Oh, email my sales sales at absupply.net, and I'll see those tomorrow. I'm out in the shop for the rest of the day.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll send you a bunch of pictures. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything. And I'm a first-time homeowner, and if I knew about this lock, what it was before, I never even would have thought to, replace it. Quite honestly, but now that I took it off, it's fine. It works fine. Just wondering about this screw. If it's just an easy replace because it's on that. You'll see what I'm talking about. But nevertheless, I'll send you some pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a guy in Chicago. He actually lives in Park Ridge. He is a very technical locksmith. He does stuff that is way beyond what normal locksmiths do. He knows the E-lock, so if you decide to service it, call someone who, I'll give you the guy's number. You can call him. I don't even know if he's still in business. It's been a couple of years since I've spoken to him. But he has serviced E-locks for clients of mine in the past, and he enjoys it as well. His knowledge of those locks don't go back as far as my knowledge does, but he's incredibly intelligent. I mean, this guy, he's the right guy you want touching that lock. He will not leave it in worse condition than he gets it, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's just I thought I was doing something. I didn't know what I was doing, but luckily the lock seems to be fine, and it's in pretty good shape, to be honest with you. But that one screw did kind of pop.
For 7 decades old.
Crazy, right?
Oh, that's just how good of a lock that is.
That's awesome. Well, it's good to hear. Cool. Well, I'll send you these pictures. I would love to, if you wouldn't mind putting me in touch with the guy. But I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it. I'll send you the picture of the hole, the door, everything, and look forward to chatting with you about it whenever you get a chance.
Awesome. I'll communicate back to you tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, Richard. Have a great evening.
You're welcome, sir. Bye-bye. Same to you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Architectural Builders Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Okay, so yeah, the B460 series would have been what you would have gotten with that lock. I don't know about 1936, what they called it, but
Right.
but having a 460 would be the, if you want to be as close to original as possible, that's what I would suggest. The problem, the only issue, the departure would be, of course, the fact that you're not going to have the Plymouth escutcheon that would go with that under the deadbolt. You know, that really isn't. I'm sorry. Well, you do have a Plymouth on the inside. You wouldn't have an escutcheon, so it would be a deadbolt. But what's nice about that is it's a really petite deadbolt on the face of the door.
Yeah, but it still does the job. Yeah.
Oh, it's a grade 1 deadbolt. I mean, it is no home center deadbolt. It's absolutely the way to go.
Okay, cool. What does something like that cost?
Well, I'll look. Hang on one second. Now, regarding the broken screw, the reason about sending that catalog was, the Schlage catalog, was because I was mentioning yesterday about how those screws attached to a plate, well, they didn't back around World War II. They had literally attached to the exterior, and I want to look at that really quick. Okay.
Yeah, I remember on the phone you had mentioned not thinking that there were screws there, but you saw the pictures. You saw what I'm talking about, right?
Well, yeah, I saw your photographs, and that's what prompted me to dig deeper. And when I looked at the 36 catalog, and Schlage is only a company since maybe 1927, so this was really new stuff for them. But when you look at the catalog, there's a it shows that the bolts are going to the exterior grip. So if it was me, I would absolutely want to get the broken head screw out of there, which you should be able to do, and run a new brass screw into it.
Okay.
And yeah, let's take a look. You take out the good screw. First of all, you take the knob off. You take out the good screw and pull the escutcheon out. You might be able to get needle nose pliers on that and back it out carefully. Ideally, if you can do it, you want to do that, because you've only got one very soft metal screw holding the inside and the outside together on the door. So it would be best if that can be done.
Okay.
Now,
I just try and do that myself very delicately.
yeah, I mean, if you buy the deadbolt's $75 is what it is. If you were to buy the deadbolt, if you're going to hire a locksmith to come in and drill the door and frame, then I would just let that person do it, would be my opinion. Okay. But I personally...
Do you think they would have a comparable screw for me, or would I have to...
Yeah, so what I would do is... because I have the tools is what I mean. So your mileage may vary. What I would do is remove the good screw, and then I would run a tap into it so that I could determine what the proper thread is. I would bet that it's 1032 would be the thread type. So I would get a couple of solid brass screws in the right length and right thread type, diameter and thread type, and that would be it. I would get slotted oval head solid brass, probably 1032 by 1 inch would be a guess. That's what I would do. And looking at this lock, the finish doesn't look that beat up. I mean, I'm sure it looks worse in person, but it's not awful, man. For the age and where you live, you got a storm door.
There's an old school. Actually, it's weird. my dad, one of my dad's fraternity brothers, is a big door and window guy out here, and I had him come over to the house to check my, windows and stuff before we paint the house. And it was a long story longer. He actually kind of geeked out on that outside door that's covering the
your storm door.
The storm door. He's like, this is original and it's pretty darn neat. So I think that's done a good job of preserving it,
Absolutely. I mean, if you had to go buy that from like a Salvage One, there's I bet Salvage One's still in business somewhere down in the greater. It's not the West Loop technically, but in the greater. Shoot. I don't remember the neighborhood, but Anyway, so you would pay a fortune for that because that's a style and rail door that's there. That's built the way they built doors a long time ago.
Yeah, that's why I'm so excited to gosh, I'm so excited I didn't have that guy continue to install a new lock and mess up my door.
Yeah, my man, you were downgrading yourself.
For your video. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to buy the deadbolt from you, and that's the brass color, right? It's the knob came in brass and bronze, so that would be the brass. Is there any way to shine up that brass or on this handle or not?
Well, here's the thing: that handle's going to be solid brass, but it had a lacquer applied originally, so in theory you should be able to get that to a plating company. But the problem is you've got parts that are on the back side of that would have to be removed. And I've had people paint those. I've had people powder coat those. It's just, given the fact that it doesn't look truly awful, I might let that ride another decade or so because anything you're going to do to it, and I don't know much about plating, so you might want to bring in an expert on plating. But in my experience, when I've seen it done, it's the one stop before replacing the lock. It's the last option.
You're thinking probably the integrity of the lock when anytime you take it off and monkey with it like that, I'd imagine.
Well,
especially something so old.
Yeah, if you have it off the door again, study the backside of the grip. There's going to be probably a cotter pin that holds the thumb piece assembly in it. And all that would have to be removed, and you'd have to do it in such a way that you didn't compromise the integrity of the metals and putting it back together. So, but again, talk to a plating expert before you make a final decision. You talk to the right guy, and it could be a no-brainer. Like down on Elston and Fullerton, there was a guy down there that I dealt with years, and I mean, like 2.5 decades ago, and the guy was great. But that's ancient history nowadays.
Right. How long have you been out of the area for?
Cubs won, and we left the year after that. So 20.
You're just waiting.
Yeah. I was waiting. Yeah, I was waiting until 1904, and that was it. When Irma was the hurricane for us, that we were here for. I was here for a month, and that happened. So 2016. So. I'll send you a photograph of the lock that I've got. It's basically something coming out of my collection. When I have them, I hang on to them because sooner or later either someone needs one or I just put it on my shelf and I admire it from afar. That's it. So I'll send you a picture of it.
Gosh, I love your passion about this stuff. That's awesome. And for the deadbolt, I shouldn't have to. I mean, as far as having somebody install the deadbolt, that's probably pretty straightforward. Yes.
It is. I mean, it's not hard, but you're going to need a drill. You're going to need the drill bits. You're going to need a hammer and a chisel, and you're going to need, time that you're uninterrupted. And if you've never drilled,
I'm not going to do it myself. I'm not going to do it myself, but any locksmith could install this deadbolt, right? It's not like the handle set that I got to be, super careful with whoever I have touch it moving forward, right?
I would think that anyone who calls himself a locksmith, their stock and trade is prepping wood doors and frames in the field for deadbolts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing against the guy who came out is he's just too young. He hadn't seen that lock before. And had he been 10 or 20 years older, he would have been like, oh, there's no chance that Kwikset's going to fit on there because I know that lock prep.
Yeah, no, he's not coming back. I'll call the guy that you were nice enough to share with me and see if he's still around, you know.
Well, Matt's not very old. I mean, he's probably... Okay. I'm 53, and he's probably 10 years younger than me, so I would imagine... I mean, if he still lives in Illinois, which I believe he certainly does, and he's either going to be super slammed or he might be, like, really available. My opinion is if Matt commits to come... Say, I talked to Rich, I got a Schlage E series. He says, you share his love of that old Schlage lock like he does. And I've got one that needs some TLC, and I also want a deadbolt installed because it was an E, not an EB lock. So, and if he's backed up for a month, my opinion is I would wait. As long as he commits to coming, he'll come. But if he does answer you in the sense that I'm absolutely slammed, I couldn't even tell you, then you got to move on, because that means he's beyond busy. Because this guy, he doesn't, like I kind of alluded to yesterday. This guy will wire low voltage. He'll do very custom stuff. So he might be in demand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, I'll give him a buzz. And then, I mean, I appreciate the deadbolt. I'm happy to grab that from you if you don't mind letting it go.
It's not like one of my E-locks, which aren't for sale. I've lost count now, but I probably have 10, and I have one from basically an estate sale. The father was an engineer at Schlage, so I have one that is literally put on the side for a Schlage employee, and I've got. Someday I'm going to get pictures of it and share those, but I've got some stuff that's, truly mid-century modern, and it's just, I mean, you look in that 36 catalog, that Futura design is so Art Deco, it just screams with elegance. It's kind of like
really neat.
Yeah, it's kind of like the iPhone in the sense that was a one in a century piece of industrial engineering. You know what I mean? Some of that design, like the cars being pumped out of Detroit in the '60s, right? That's once in a century kind of stuff. And that's Schlage.
They just don't make them like it.
They don't. They don't. Nothing gets you excited like looking at a '67 Pontiac. So the point of the matter is that stuff is just really cool, and if you can get that screw repaired, do it. If you can put on a deadbolt, put on any deadbolt you want, because you'll find them for a lot less. Obviously, the Kwiksets and the Schlages of the world. But if you want a deadbolt as close to original as possible, I've got one. And the knocker that you had mentioned, that would be extremely cool. And I think the brass goes with the black really well to begin with.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm thinking about, because like we literally bought this house, we did the inside first, but it dumped a ton of money in the inside because it was like a time capsule. Yeah. Literally, it was a time capsule from the same family lived here since 1961. The house was built in 51.
Yeah.
And we are next is the outside, and I might paint the door like a navy blue color.
Oh, it'd be very cool.
Paint the house. Yeah, but regardless, the lock will look really neat. I saw one on eBay for sale for like $95. I might just scoop that up. You should email me a link to that only so I can chime in and let you know what that is. Because if there's a Waverly, an active Waverly on eBay for $95, I would be very shocked. Because if you looked on eBay, you saw guys selling refurbished ones for $1,000. Yeah. Well, that was for the handle set. I'm talking about just for the knocker.
Oh, right? The knocker only? Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
If you can. What color? What finish is it in?
I think it was the brass. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
Well, that might be easier to get plated. It might be.
Yeah. Let me take a look here. Oh shoot, I have someone coming to my door right now. Do you mind? Are you going to be available if I call you back in just a few minutes?
Yeah, call me back.
Okay, cool. Because I want to get the deadbolt from you and continue chatting. I have somebody I forgot was coming to the house, a contractor.
I'm only, realistically, it should be tomorrow morning because I know I'm going to be out of here in a short amount of time because I got to go back in the shop and work on the CNC. So just make it mid-morning tomorrow, okay?
Okay, I'll give you a call, and I'll also find a picture of that knocker and send it to you just for the heck of it.
Please send that to me.
Okay, all right, Richard.
All right, bye.
Thanks again.
Yes, sir.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Architectural Builders Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Handle that?
Yes, sir.
Hey, just wanted to get back to you. Thanks for sending the pictures of that the lock that you have. Just had a question for you. Is that the one thing? It seems like that's a double cylinder, right?
It is, yeah. Because of that glass, it would be standard to have that, but you don't have to have double cylinder. Just assume because you've got side lights, you would want a key on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, I think for security purposes, that probably would be better. The only thing that I'm concerned about is in reality, just day to day, having to worry about the key being there, and also maybe like a fire hazard if we had to get out of the house quick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So is that same lock available with the thing that you turn on the inside?
Let's see if I've got one. Hang on. I've got a 460. The problem is my collection isn't where I am, and I have a spreadsheet that I'm looking in. A 460.
PD 460. And is that bright brass or is that?
It would be, Schlage would call it bright brass or polished brass. It'd be 605 is what it would be.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I don't. I've got them in the wrong finish. I've got some in satin bronze, but it's the wrong finish.
Right.
I don't. So you obviously.
I'm looking at one on just on Amazon. This like B60 N505 deadbolt. Is that?
That's definitely not the same series, but that would certainly work. The idea of the 460 is to stay as original as possible. But at the end of the day,
Yeah, let me see if I can. Let me throw it around a little bit more. I mean, I like the idea of having something that is original to the door. If I'm going to make it, kind of a centerpiece, if you will. Oh, I forgot to send you the picture of that, the knocker too, the Waverly knocker. But perhaps I do a double lock type of deal. I don't want to put too many holes in the door, but maybe I'll do a dead bust single cylinder and then that double cylinder.
It's
a lot. It's a lot
down here it is down here in Naples during the rioting that was happening. My buddy asked me how's the rioting in Naples, and I sent him a picture of the howls from Gilligan's Island. That's the kind of rioting down here. I don't think you'd have much either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go put an extra. What you could do if you wanted security was to put a thumb turn only on the inside. If you were to put one in addition to a single cylinder deadbolt, if you felt like you needed additional security, but that's atypical. You don't live in the West Loop.
Yeah, right. exactly. Okay, cool. Well, let's hold off on that double cylinder for now. Even though I do appreciate it.
Let me give you some ideas. The B60 would be great. It's a smaller-ish footprint. If you can find the 160, Schlage discontinued that many years ago. It still has a smaller footprint, but not as small as the 460. That lock,
B160?
It would be a B160, yeah. The B160 would work in an 1.5-inch hole. As I had mentioned, the Baldwins work in an 1 5/8 hole. The Baldwin quality is phenomenal. I, for some reason, don't like the name Baldwin on the face of the scalp plate, even though the Schlage's going to say Schlage. But I wouldn't hesitate to use Baldwin. And then the Kaba Ilko I had mentioned. Now, I like it because its projection is small. What I don't like about it is, to me, it looks too commercial, as does the Schlage B660. The 560 looks a little too commercial. So, you know what the 460 looks like. And all I'm thinking is, when you search for one that's in the best spirit of what you're trying to match. Oh, and absolutely be sure that what you buy is the right back set, which yours would be 2 3/8, edge of the door to the center of where the key goes in, because you could easily buy a deadbolt that's 2 3/4. Now, anything modern you're going to buy is going to probably be adjustable, 2 3/8 or 2 3/4. But if you get an older lock, like the 462 I have or something like it, you got to be sure it's got the right back set on that bolt. Otherwise, you're drilling the hole 3/8 over and it won't look right.
Copy that. Okay. All right. Very, very much appreciated, Richard. So I'm going to do a little digging here, and I'll keep you posted. And if I convince the wife that the fire hazard thing is, we don't have to worry about it. Maybe
I mean, what we do, what we did back in the old days. I lived in, when my kids were tiny, like toddlers and grammar school. We lived in Mount Prospect, and my door was the same as yours, had a side light, and it was always a single cylinder. And my wife was on the phone, and my daughter decided to walk to the park. Well, she's 2, okay? So, that single cylinder came off the door really fast. And I put a double cylinder in there. And what's neat is I put a Kaba Ilko deadbolt, a double cylinder there, because they have a captive key concept on the inside where you can insert a key. It's a key, but it looks like a thumb turn, and you need a special tool to pull it out. So you always leave it in there when you want single cylinder, but when you get in go down to O'Hare and get down to Cabo for a week, you can pop that key in there. You can pop the key out, and now you've got a true double cylinder. So that if I break the glass and reach in, there's nothing there. So that was the first thing when we bought the house. My dad came by and he was like, you got to be careful because you got glass right there. They'll just, and that. So how do you spell the Kaba? How do you spell that? Kaba. The Kaba, and then Ilko, which stands for Independent Lock Company. That would be their 45 series with a captive thumb turn on the inside. That is definitely something I can sell you, but look that up so you can see what I'm talking about. It's not so. It takes a minimum of an 1 7/8 hole, but to me, with the large beveled cylinder ring around it, makes it look a little commercial. And
is that a Schlage? Is that a Schlage as well, or no?
No, it's Kaba Ilko. It's a different company. Yeah, Kaba.
Okay.
Yeah, that company goes back, who knows how early in the 20th century.
Kaba Ilko. Okay, 4500 series.
Yeah, it's a 45 or 4500 series, and you'll find a picture of it.
Oh yeah, I see it. Okay.
Yeah, it's I don't like it because of the look, but I sure do love that captive thumb turn on the inside. You can leave it there all day long, and when you want to turn it into a double cylinder, you use a special tool, pull the thing out, put it in your cabinet in the tool, and leave it locked up like that until you return.
Yeah, I'm not. Hold on, it's not showing me a double cylinder, but I'll find it.
Well, Yeah, you might have to. I don't know if you'll get a good picture of a captive thumb turn, but it basically looks like a turn knob, and a turn knob like that you would see on the inside of an aluminum storefront door, like in a retail environment.
Right.
So.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'll look around at this, and I'll definitely be in touch. And I can't tell you how much I really appreciate all of your help and guidance with this.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's been fun.
Really,
If you talk to Matt, tell him I say hi.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely give him a call soon. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks a lot, Richard.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.